Hey guys, Jesky here. I'm back again for our second class. I hope you're doing great. I'm doing just fine, having my cup of coffee, and you should do the same. Coffee is always good. Last class we talked about the plural form of nouns and all of those rules that are very important for you in order to take a good test. I hope you took notes of everything you wrote down as much as you could. Today we have something different. For our second class, we're talking about the articles. There are three articles in English: the definite article, the, and the indefinite articles, a and n. We'll go through all of those rules, we'll go through all of the exceptions. It's very important because I've seen many questions related to this topic today. At the end of the video, you will have a QR code. What is this QR code for, teacher? You will have access to weekly activities. You have to read every week, so I prepared articles for you. You will find there. Also related to the article, for example, the first week is about coronavirus, and I have a podcast talking about coronavirus so you can practice a little bit more new vocabulary. And also, I work on poems every week. So every week, I will work on a different poem and analyze the poem. So do all these activities, and I promise you, this will make a huge difference at the end. Okay, guys, I hope you enjoyed the class today, and I'll talk to you soon. Let's have some coffee. Bye-bye. We're starting today with the articles. This is our second class. The articles are those small words that they come before nouns. They basically introduce nouns. They are linked to nouns. They modify these nouns. They define these nouns. They limit these nouns. I could give an example. I saw a bird flying outside. The bird I saw was beautiful. So I saw a very beautiful bird. Obviously, we can use other words before nouns to qualify these nouns. Obviously, we can use adverbs as well, as you could actually note in my examples. The articles are basically divided into two possibilities. We have the definite article, the, and the indefinite articles, a and n. Okay? I brought two questions so you can check the way universities approach this topic. They could ask questions like the very first one saying, which alternative is correct? And then you have lots of sentences there. You need to choose the right one. Or they can ask you to complete the gap. So fill out the gaps with the appropriate, with the most adequate article. So we have two different types of questions here. I've already seen questions. I can't recall which university, if I'm not mistaken, was Akafi's test, and they basically asked you to complete 20, if I'm not mistaken, 20 gaps using only articles. You will probably do this question later on, but I can't remember if it is from Akafi or not, but I'm not sure yet. Well, anyway, so let's continue and start talking about these articles. First, the definite article. The definite article, the, is used before a noun already known by the listener or reader. What do you mean? The example I gave previously about the bird, right? When I first introduced the noun bird, you probably remember that I said, I saw a bird flying outside. So it's an indefinite bird, any bird. I just saw a bird flying outside. When I repeated the noun the second time, I mentioned, the bird I saw was very beautiful, because I repeated the noun, because you are aware of the noun already, because I said the word bird before. This is the general rule. So rule number one is nouns mentioned before, already defined by the speaker. Like I said, the example I used, the bird. He wrote some letters and postcards. The letters were to his girlfriend. The same thing happened here. So first I mentioned the noun letters, and then I repeated. The letters were to his girlfriend. So this is the very, very basic rule. It's the general rule. Every time you repeat the noun, you mention the noun again, it must be with the definite. But when you introduce the noun for the first time, it can be indefinite. I bought a phone. I bought a mobile phone, any mobile phone. But when I repeat the word again, the phone I bought cost me thousands of reais. Okay, so it repeats and repeats over and over the situation every time you mention a noun for the second time. Okay, so this is the very basic rule, the general rule. Rule number 2, nouns that are unique in their kind. What do you mean, teacher? These unique things like, here comes the sun, doo, doo, doo. Here comes the sun, I said, it's alright. So the sun, the moon, the sky, Lucy in the sky with diamonds. So all of these unique things, the planet Earth, the universe, we must use the definite article the. Okay, so this rule is really basic as well. We're used to this rule. I consider these places very unique as well, but geographic names of rivers, seas, channels, oceans, poles, deserts, gulfs, islands, group of islands, and mountains. Well, we have to use the definite article before these options. So you say the Amazon River or the Amazonas River, the Pacific Ocean, the Atlantic Ocean, the English Channel, right? The North Pole, the Sahara Desert, the Gulf of Mexico, the Bahamas, the Alps, all of these unique geographic places, we must use the definite article. The Guaíba River, the San Francisco River, the Colorado River, and the list goes on and on. I could give you examples like forever. The Himalayas, the Everest Mount or mountain. So we have lots of examples in this group. Just be careful because I've already seen questions and they asked basically very specific things like geographic names of rivers, seas, channels, oceans, poles, etc., etc. Okay? Rule number 4. Adjectives used as plural nouns. Well, remember, adjectives do not have a plural form. So you don't say like, oh, he's a beautiful child. They are beautiful children. Well, we can't say that because we do not change adjectives to the plural form. In English, this is impossible. But what we can do, we can use adjectives as nouns in the plural. So every time you say the beautiful, yes, the beautiful, os belos, the intelligent, os inteligentes, the rich, os ricos, the famous, os famosos. So this way, we can use the definite article. Actually, we must use the definite article before, but then again, these adjectives are functioning as nouns in this case, and obviously, so every time you say the good are the majority, right? The intelligent have more power, or the example you want to give. The rich have access to a lot of things. So you have to agree in the plural, obviously, because you're talking about the plural. So they, right? The poor, they, the rich, they are, they have, they need. The intelligent, they, the good, the bad. Because it's implicit the poor people, the intelligent people, the powerful people, the good people are, the good people have. Is this clear? I hope this is clear. Remember, you have to agree with the subject. So the verb must agree with the subject. In this case, the subject is they. All right? I hope this is clear. Well, then we have rule number 5, still using the definite article the. Some countries have the definite articles in their names. For example, the United Kingdom, the United States, the United Arab Emirates, the Dominican Republic, right? But obviously the rule, what is the rule? For cities, for countries, states, since they have a proper name, we cannot use the article. So we don't say I'm from the Brazil. You can say that. You can say I'm going to the Canada. You cannot say that. I'm going to Canada. I'm from Brazil. I love Argentina. I love Paraná or Santa Catarina. Okay? So do not use the definite articles before names of countries, except the ones I'm listing here. I'm listing in this 5th rule. Is that clear? I hope it is. Rule number 6. Remember to take note, right, guys? Take note. Write down whatever information is important for you, because if you don't know some information here, I strongly advise you to take note, to write down as much as you can. Rule number 6, with proper names to indicate the whole family or to specify the person being talked about. If you're talking about a specific, very specific person, I'll explain later. Well, proper names indicating families. So you can say the Silvas. The Silvas are a big family, a huge family. Actually, I'm a Silva. The Santos, right? The Kennedys, the Jacksons. Do you remember? The Jacksons, Michael Jackson, Janet Jackson. I can't remember anybody else. But anyways, the Jacksons. Remember with the S in the end, the letter S in the end. What else? Oh, the Santos I've already said. The Sousas, right? But I can remember the Jetsons. You probably remember this cartoon about a family that lived in the future, the Jetsons. A very famous family, the Simpsons, right? The Simpsons are a crazy family, very crazy, peculiar family. So it's a very simple rule. And also when you want to specify a specific person, when you want to be very specific about someone, how many Johns do you know? You probably know a lot of Johns, but the John I'm talking about is Janet's brother. Hey, have you seen Sylvia? Well, which Sylvia are you talking about? I have 3 friends whose names are Sylvia. Well, the Sylvia I want to talk to, the Sylvia I'm talking about is, so the Sylvia, the John, to specify a very specific person, you know, just to point out a very specific person, okay? Did I make myself clear? I hope I did. Rule number 7, before names of musical instruments and rhythms. This is the rhythm of the night. Oh, night. Oh, yeah. The rhythm of the night. This is the rhythm of my life. My life. Oh, yeah. The rhythm of the life. Oh, whatever, I can't remember. Did you know that this singer, she's from Brazil. Her name is Corona. I'm not sure if she's alive, but I remember in the 90s, she had a one-hit only song, just one hit in her career, The Rhythm of the Night. I remember watching Xuxa show, something like that, a long time ago. And then Corona was always there singing, this is the rhythm of the night. Oh, night, oh yeah, the rhythm of the night. So rhythms in general, guys, I'm bored at home, so, you know, at least I'm having fun here making this video, this audio. So rhythms, dances, obviously, and musical instruments. Do you play the guitar? Well, I play the piano a little bit. It's not I play piano. Look, don't get me wrong. When you refer to the generic idea of an instrument, the piano, it's the idea of there's just one big old thing called piano, but you can break into pieces. You can buy a piano because you played the piano, obviously. You can buy a beautiful guitar, but you played the guitar. You know what I mean? So you play the drums. But you can buy a set of drums, all right? Did you understand that? So when you refer to a general in a general way, in a generic way. So I play the piano, I play the saxophone, I play the cello, I play the guitar. But when you go to a store, for example, you can buy a piano or you can buy a guitar. You can buy 2 guitars if you want. You can buy 10 guitars if you want. Okay, just don't get me wrong. But when you refer to the instrument in a generic way, in a general way, so I play the piano, I play the guitar, I play the drums, right? And also when you refer to dances and rhythms, I'm not gonna sing the song again, I promise. So dances and rhythms in general, I find the tango so beautiful. The samba is really hard to dance. Valeria dances the samba graciously. So dances and rhythms, you have to do the same, right? The blues, the pagoji, the whatever, the funk, yeah? Whichever rhythm, whichever dance you like, you have to use the definite article before them in English. Right, guys? Rule number 8. Before names of newspapers, I don't know the name of the newspaper in your city, but here in Porto Alegre, we have Zero Hora, the Zero Hora, Correio do Povo, the Correio do Povo. So some examples: The Economist, the New York Times, the Washington Post, the Guardian, the Sun, right? So we have lots of examples, names of newspapers. This rule does not apply for magazines, okay, guys? So magazines, you cannot use the definite article. So you say Forbes magazine, right? You say, for example, another one, Metropolitan magazine, Vanity Fair magazine. You do not use the definite article before magazines, but you do use the definite article before newspapers, okay? Great. So let's move on. Rule number 9. What would most building names? Ooh, lots of buildings out there. The Capitol, the Empire State's Building, the Louvre, the Kremlin, the Taj Mahal, the Vatican. Exceptions, be careful. Buckingham Palace, and all buildings with the word hall, like Carnegie Hall, Lily Hall. Then the word hall, we'll have to drop the definite article. Is that clear? So buildings in general, right? Buildings in general. The Empire State, or the Freedom Tower, the Burj Khalifa Tower. So all of those very famous buildings, we're used to hearing the definite article before their names. So this is a rule. This is actually rule number 9. All right, guys. Before names of cinemas, theaters, hotels, restaurants, clubs, museums, libraries and art galleries. There is a foreign film festival at the Paramount. I saw Barbra Streisand at the Palladium. I don't know the names of theaters in your cities, but here we have the San Pedro Theater. In Paraná, we have the Guaíra Theater. Stadiums as well, you could consider. Restaurants in general, right? So we have they're going to have dinner at the Chinese Palace. Hotels as well, they have a reservation at the Plaza. Okay, so write down all of these pieces of information because they may be very important for you in the future when taking a test. With the superlatives, Tony is the tallest guy in the group. Today is the hottest day of the week. Or the craziest person I know is blah. Okay, the smallest town I've been to was blah, blah, blah. So the superlative, you have to use the definite article, but we will learn more specifically all of the rules related to comparison in general later on. Okay, so this is just a small comment that I'm making. Rule number 12, with the comparative degree. to indicate that two things increase or decrease in the same proportion. When you go to a hamburger place like McDonald's, Burger King, whichever you prefer, so what do you say about the size of the hamburger? Well, the bigger, the better. Yes? The cheaper, the better. So this is very much used. I gave an example here. The more I study philosophy, the less I understand it. My workmate Fernando, please don't hate me. The more I study philosophy, the less I understand it. Well, the less I eat, the hungrier I feel. Okay, so we can go crazy over examples here. But keep in mind that we have to use the definite article before these things. When you're comparing things and these things are increasing or decreasing proportionally, okay? Rule number 13, with ordinal numbers indicating numerical emphasis. This is the first time, the second time, the third time she comes to Brazil. This is the fifth time I tell you to turn off the lights when you leave the room. Well, this sounds like my father talking to me in the past, obviously, because I don't live with my parents anymore, right? I'm not a kid anymore. Anyways, well, the article is omitted. We don't use the article when we have names of cities, as I mentioned before. Florianopolis is a beautiful city. Chapecó is a charming city. Maringá is a great city. I can contemplate all of them. Passo Fundo is an awesome city. States, Santa Catarina, Rio Grande do Sul, Paraná, São Paulo are all states in Brazil. Islands, Fernando de Noronha Island, right? So islands in general, I can't recall names of islands right now. But anyways, countries in general: Brazil, Argentina, Canada, Japan, Russia, Australia, etc., etc. Continents. So we have Asia, we have Europe, we have lots of continents that I can remember. I've already said America, obviously, right? Oh my God, I'm getting old because I can't remember things anymore. This is just funny. Anyways, proper names and possessive pronouns. Well, as I said, unless you want to specify things, right? Even the first rule, if you have the same name for more than one city, for example, you have Porto Alegre in Rio Grande do Sul, and you have Porto Alegre in the United States. Well, the Porto Alegre I live in is in Brazil, obviously. Then when you specify something, then you can use the definite. But the general rule is, with proper names, we do not use the article. John is a great guy. Maria is an awesome girl. Possessive pronouns we do not use, right? So you don't say the my name, the her house. We don't say that. Just her house has 5 rooms. My name is very different, or whatever. Plural nouns used in a generic sense. For example, women are very special human beings. Men are very special human beings. Children are so cute. You're going to say the children. Unless you're specifying the children I'm talking about are the ones that abstract nouns, or those that indicate material. For example, happiness, anger, love. But you can say the happiness I feel right now is different, right? You can have types of happiness, remember, but when you refer in a generic way, you say happiness is something difficult to explain. Or when you talk about something that is material, like diamond is a very expensive gem. Gold is worshipped everywhere, okay? Nouns that denote sports, science, academic disciplines, scholars, meals, seasons, months, and days of the week. So we say Tennis is really hard to play. Soccer is boring sometimes for me. Um, Disciplines in general, right? Philosophy, physics, etc. Colors. Red is my favorite color. Meals. Breakfast is the meal that I love the most. You don't say the breakfast. Months and days, like August is a very nice month. Or you can say January is my favorite one. Days, you can say like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, but you don't say the Monday, right? Unless you're specifying the Monday I'm talking about is not the following one, but the next, okay? Remember, when you really want to specify something, then you must use the definite article, but the general rule is we don't, okay? Certain nouns such as bed, church, court, hospital, prison, college, school, market, home, society, and work, when used for the purpose for which they are normally intended. So I'm going to work. Maria is in hospital now. Or John was sent to jail or to prison. I will see you in court, okay? I can't leave my bed. I want to stay in bed the whole day today. I'm going home. Have you seen Janet? She's in school right now, so we don't use the definite article unless you are defining. Again, unless you are defining, making it very definite. The school Maria is going to is right next to her house. Oh, okay. Well, then you can do it. All right? Is it clear? Is it clear like Moacir? Because Moacir is clear. Okay? Well, anyways, that was a very stupid joke. I normally tell this joke in front of the students, but then you have a reaction. It's like, what the hell is he saying? Was this a joke? Was this a serious question? Well, but here, since I'm recording this video, you don't have the interaction, you don't have the reaction. So I don't know if you're laughing on the other side or not, or just saying, what the hell is this guy doing? Is he crazy? Is he nuts? Or just a little bit. We have to be a little bit crazy in this life. We can't take things too seriously, otherwise we'll go nuts. Anyways, well, rule number 7, or when we omit the definite article before words that refer to languages. So English is a very important language. English will be used when you are in medical school, so you must study from now. Russian is very difficult to learn, etc., etc. Japanese sounds a little bit funny, but I don't mean to be mocking this, but it was just an example. The indefinite articles A and N, they precede nouns which the speaker reader is not yet aware, like the example I gave about the bird. I saw a bird flying outside. Any bird. I have a cat. You didn't know before that I had a cat. The cat I have is, I don't know, white and whatever color. I don't have a cat, actually. I just made that up. But if you know what I mean. When I introduced the noun for the first time, obviously, you were unaware of the noun. You were unaware of the information, okay? So A, the article, the indefinite article A is used before words that start with the consonant sound. Be careful, the sound, because it's not before a consonant simply. Like the semi-vowel Y and the audible H, for example. So we say a book, we say a car, we say a phone, we say a door. But look, a house. Here, the H has a sound. Ha, ha, house. Ho, ho, horse. So a horse. Okay? A year, a yellow car. A yellow car, a year, a university, it's like the Y, these letters, okay? It's difficult to explain. In Portuguese, this doesn't make sense, but anyways, we have to go with it. We have to accept it. So letter Y, be careful. A year, a yellow car, a university. It's different than when you say umbrella. Look, an umbrella. Under my umbrella, Ella, Ella, eh, eh. Under my umbrella, Ella, Ella, eh, eh, eh. That's the only part I know. So, an umbrella. I bought an umbrella yesterday, but I bought an umbrella and I'm going to a very important university. I'm going to a university which is far from here. Okay? A uniform. Now I have to wear a uniform. Be careful with these letters because they may trick you. They may make you commit a mistake. Okay? Number 2, the indefinite article "n" is used before words that begin with the vowel sound and the mute H, not audible H, right? So here, like some examples: an egg, an owl, an evening, an opera, an arm. And then remember that we have some words in English, actually 4 words, that the H is mute, like air, an heir, herdeiro, an honest boy, an honest man, an honest man. An hour. Caxias is an hour away from here. It's an honor to be here. Okay, so these 4 words, they have a mute letter H, and then we have to use the indefinite article N instead of A. Note that the article A must also be used before words beginning with EU. It's like ew, 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 and you, right? Not you. So as these letters have the sound of a consonant when they appear at the beginning of words. It's a little bit difficult for us to digest it, but then we have to accept it. A European country, a euro. I just have a euro in my pocket. A dollar, a euro. Okay, so be careful with that sound. A uniform, as I said, a unique person. All right, guys? So be careful with those, just in case. Be also careful with the letter W and the word one, because W, look, if you say like wah, 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 what a wonderful world, a wonderful one. Oops, one. So just like the word one, wonderful, one. A watch, a wonderful day, a one-way trip, a $1 bill, a one-night stay. Oops, so be careful with the letter W. And remember, wonderful one. Number 1, wonderful. I think that helps a little bit. Please do not make this mistake. So it's a one-way trip. It's not an one-way trip. It's a one-way trip. A wonderful day. A watch. A wall. Okay? Is it clear? I hope it is. Well, when to use the indefinite then? We use the indefinite before nouns that denote profession, a doctor, a teacher, a professor, an engineer. Nouns that indicate nationality. Who won the competition? It was a Brazilian. Who discovered the blah, blah, blah vaccine? It was an American, okay? Nouns that denote religion. A Catholic, for example, a Christian. I am a Catholic. I am a Christian. Before a singular and countable noun used as an example of a class or group, okay? So when you say, for example, like a dog is a good companion and a lion has a mane, or a politician is normally related to corruption, etc., etc. Anyways, guys, I hope you understood. There are lots of rules. We're still going. We have Number 5, before the words few and little with positive meaning. I remember talking to you about this before. So a few dollars, a little patience, or I have a little patience with kids. Well, this is something good. I have a little patience. It's different than say I have little patience. If I say I have little patience with kids, you wouldn't leave your kids with me because I have little patience, not enough. No, I have a little patience. It's enough. Okay? Before numerals or nouns that imply quantity, like 100, 1,000, 1,000,000, a billion, etc., etc. All right. Well, I hope you understood everything. I know there are too many rules to be memorized, but I'm pretty sure you can watch this video many times and take notes and write down whatever information you think it is important for you. Okay, I'll talk to you later, and we'll have another class soon available. Bye-bye, guys. See you later.